We are in Angola for the AFRA 57th General Assembly. I'm now on the ATNS stand.
As ATNS, we render services not only in South Africa, but also within the continent. And the services we render are received by AFRA customers, mainly African Airlines. And we see AFRA as a strategic partner in assisting us in rendering the services and also doing marketing intelligence.
ATNS has a number of structures, if I understand correctly, and you have a number of responsibilities.
Correct.
What are those exactly?
Primarily, we are a state-owned entity established to provide air navigation services in South Africa. And as we have realized that for us to be able to be financially sustainable, we have to grow the business beyond the borders of South Africa. So we do provide other services that are unbundled from an ANSP value chain point of view outside of South Africa. But at home, primarily, we are providing services as established by an Act of Parliament, which is air traffic control in basic language, but in the terms of the legislation is air navigation services.
This year you guys have signed a number of agreements with our neighbours.
Yes.
Which was the latest one?
The latest one was with Zambia. There is an airport in Zambia in Ndola, rehabilitation of the old airport into new. We're busy there assisting them in managing the transition, designing of procedures, WS84. Most recently, as well, just concluded one in Zimbabwe for their 3 major airports. We are currently in talks with them for other infrastructure-related developments, both in Harare and other parts of the country.
So when you say redesign or looking at the service procedures,
Yes.
you're talking about. Are you also talking about the physical technology that is put in place, or just the process?
Let me start with the Zambia one. The Zambia one has got both infrastructure and service side of things. Because we are not an OEM, we do not produce infrastructure, but we do have strategic partnerships with OEMs. If one of our customers procure services from an OEM that we are familiar with, we partner with them to assist them with the installation, setting up, and including training on maintenance for their personnel. That is the infrastructure side of it. On the service side of it is more on how do you then transition from what you used to have to new. So in Zambia, the transition from the old airport to the new airport will require training of personnel, including the designing of new procedures for the new airport. So we've done phase 1, which was the survey part, the WS84 survey. We are now currently working in the process of now designing procedures for the new airport. That is more on the service side.
So if I understand correctly, ATNS actually supplies air traffic and navigation services to a number of African countries.
Yes.
As a coordinated activity.
Yes, and maybe let me qualify that statement. Yes. At home, we provide the A to Z of air traffic control, from providing infrastructure, training of personnel, and rendering the physical service itself. Outside of the border, the nature and setup is that this function is always reserved to a government, more or less call it a sovereignty-related type of function. So what we would do is we would not necessarily be an air navigation service provider, but bring in elements of air navigation service provision. We provide what we call unbundled service across the value chain. So our customers would pick based on their limitation, whether it's the training, infrastructure support, flight process design, tanker support, advisory services. So it is an unbundled service outside the borders, but at home, we do the A to Z.
What's our progress update?
Our success of handling the G20 was testament of the progress we've made so far. We've made very good progress that at this point, we are not seeing the risks and challenges we've had in the past coming back. We've learned our lessons, picked up some pieces, and where we are, I would say we are 80% complete, but major procedures that are meant to serve at least the primary customers at every airport are in place. What we're working on is, call it alternate options type of procedures. So all the airports currently are fully accessible with all the primary required procedures in place. We're working on additional optional ones.
What does the next 12 months look like? I think the schedule's quite full.
We were not spared from the skills drainage, especially from an air traffic control point of view, flight procedures. Throughout this process, we have managed to build our capacity. We are targeting to, at least by July 2026, to now sit with the I would say full capacity. At most, we're sitting at 80 in many of our regions. which is at least bare minimum for us to be able to render the service without any resource-related interruptions. So as far as personnel is concerned, we're in the process of concluding capacitation of our personnel. And then on the process design side of things as well, we're in consultation with the industry, where some of the procedures that we don't longer need as part of the system will be engaging on their withdrawals, including a full long-term maintenance plan. We've also developed a fully fledged project management-based approach to all the procedures. And we're working very well as well with the regulator in ensuring that as we move into the future, as these procedures expire, there is a process of managing that transition period from the old procedures to the new procedures or revised procedures.
You're under the Department of Transport. You also have to bow to the South African Civil Aviation Regulator, if I understand, which is also under the Department of Transport. And then you have a regulatory role. How does that all come together without like the tail wagging the dog and being a little unconventional, in my view?
We've managed to wave the storm as it would have been the case with any other ordinary service provider. So if it was the matter of relationship was as sharing a parent in the form of the minister, obviously, and if there were no rules in place, they would have waived all of this, and obviously they would have compromised safety, and that's not what we want. So we followed the process, and there wasn't any point where we felt that we were given preference because we are siblings with the regulator. And the clear line of responsibility are very well defined and well respected.
In closing, you being here at AFRA, do you have any message you want to share with the industry?
Well, we are here as a major player in the region. We are one of the major NSPs in the region, and we are here to show our support to TAG and Angola as a member of SADC. We are also looking forward to building more relations with some of our customers that we serve here outside of South Africa, mainly airline customers.
Oh.